to the special meeting of the Liquor Control Commission for Monday, June 3rd. Meeting is now called to order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If I may, if you could please stand for a moment of silence for the poor families that perished in Oklahoma, and also for the 4 firemen who also lost their lives in Houston. It's been a heck of a couple weeks for our country and for those states and friends. Thank you. Entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes of the special meeting for April 22nd, 2013. Roll call first, please. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Commissioner Hein?
Yep.
Commissioner Lang?
Here.
Commissioner Kruger? Here. Commissioner Heer?
Here.
Commissioner Vogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Brady?
Here.
Chairperson Argyris?
Here. Approval of the minutes for the special meeting of April 22nd, 2013.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Trustee Lang, second by, Commissioner Lang. And Commissioner Heer. Roll call.
Commissioner Hein?
Yes.
Commissioner Lang?
Yes.
Commissioner Kruger?
Yes.
Commissioner Heer?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Brady?
Yes.
Chairperson Argyris?
Yes. New business, 5A, Madam Clerk.
In consideration of an A-Class I liquor license, Wheeling Prospect Heights Area Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Wind Down Wednesday with Restaurant Row event at Bill Stasek Chevrolet, 700 West Dundee Road, and the event will take place on June 5th.
Thank you. Mr. Svandelis.
Thank you. There is an event scheduled for this Wednesday evening with Stasek Chevrolet in conjunction with the Wheeling Prospect Heights Chamber of Commerce. All is in order. We ask that if the commission so sees fit, that they make approval condition upon adequate proof of insurance.
Okay, any questions?
So move.
Motion by Commissioner Heer.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Brady. Roll call.
Commissioner Hein?
Yes.
Commissioner Lang?
Yes.
Commissioner Kruger?
Yes.
Commissioner Heer?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Brady?
Yes.
Chairperson Argyris?
5B.
In consideration of a Class I liquor license, Korean Cultural Center of Chicago, the second anniversary event, 9930 South Capitol Drive, and the event will take place on June 22nd.
Thank you. Manager Svandelis.
I have nothing else to add to that description.
Any questions from the board?
So moved.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Heer, second by Commissioner Hein. Roll call.
Commissioner Hein?
Yes.
Commissioner Lang?
Yes.
Commissioner Kruger?
Yes.
Commissioner Heer?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Brady?
Yes.
Chairperson Argyris?
Yes. Item 6, old business. Madam Clerk.
In consideration of a Class B1 liquor license for Maxine's Wheeling Fresh Farms LLC, DBA Stella's Place, 255 East Dundee Road.
Mr. Svandelis.
Thank you. This item has been before you and the Plan Commission. This is consideration specifically for the liquor license. Staff can answer any questions that the Commission may have.
And I see there's recommended conditions here.
Yes.
You want to read them for the record?
Sure. If the Commission sees fit, we would like to recommend payment of liquor license fees in the amount of $1,312.50. Passage of an ordinance granting a special use and associated site plan approval for the establishment, and passage of an ordinance by the Board of Trustees authorizing the creation of a new Class B1 liquor license.
Thank you. Any questions from the Commission? Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Lang.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hein. Roll call.
Commissioner Hein?
Yes.
Commissioner Lang?
Yes.
Commissioner Kruger?
Yes.
Commissioner Heer?
No.
Commissioner Vogel?
No.
Commissioner Brady?
No.
Chairperson Argyris?
Yes. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Heer, second by Commissioner Kruger. Roll call.
Commissioner Hein?
Yes.
Commissioner Lang?
Yes.
Commissioner Kruger?
Yes.
Commissioner Hare?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Brady?
Yes.
Chairperson Argyris?
Yes. Okay. Second here. I'll call to order the regular meeting for June 3rd, 2013. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Present.
Trustee Lang?
Here.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Hare?
Here.
Trustee Vogel?
Here.
Trustee Brady?
Here.
President Argyris?
Here. Changes to the agenda, Mr. Svandos?
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to ask that we move items 13A and 13B to take place before proclamations, congratulatory resolutions, and awards.
It's coming up now, then.
So
Second. Motion by Trustee Hare, second by Trustee Vogel. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Hare?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
President Argyris?
Yes. Representative Sente, is she here yet? She's on her way? Okay. Then we'll get to the next presentation, our New Wheeling High School principal, Angela Cece, along with Alpha Kurtzer. Come on up.
Good evening. Thank you for having us, President Argyris, trustees, staff, and residents of Wheeling. It's a pleasure to introduce you to the new Wheeling High School principal who will start July 1st. As you all know, Dr. Lopez is moving to the district office. He has done a superb job in reconstituting the high school to a STEM school. So we know that there were big shoes to fill, and we went out and did a search. And it is a pleasure to introduce you to Angela Cece. Began her career serving as a math teacher at Elk Grove High School in '97. She then served as a Spanish teacher at Adlai Stevenson High School from '97 to 2002, and served as Dean of Students at Adlai Stevenson High School 2002 to 10. Angela served as interim assistant principal 2006. She has been a consultant for Gaines Education Group, additionally led and participated in Stevenson's Social Learning Committee 2007. Angela earned her BA degree in teaching of French and teaching of Spanish from the University of Illinois, Urbana. She received her master's degree in curriculum and instruction from Northern Illinois University. It is a pleasure that I introduce to you Angela Cece.
Thank you very much for welcoming me tonight. I am very excited to be coming back to District 214. I did graduate from Buffalo Grove High School, and I went to Riley and then Cooper Junior High School. My mother also retired from District 214, taught at Wheeling High School, and then retired from Prospect High School. So it is truly a homecoming for me. I know I have very large shoes to fill from Laz Lopez, but I have no doubt that with the help of everybody at Wheeling and the teachers and the community and my knowledge and everything I've learned at Stevenson, I have no doubt that Wheeling will continue on the forefront for Illinois and for the nation, and we will be a name that is talked about in Washington, D.C. For many years to come. And STEM education will continue, as well as the nanotechnology lab will be on the forefront in national education. So thank you very much for welcoming me.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome. And we have a new principal over at Jack London School, Dr. Kate Hyland, welcoming Mr. Robert Gurney. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having us here tonight. We're very pleased to be here. I'm here to introduce Bob Gurney, who is going to be the next principal at London Middle School. Bob has been with our district since 2004. He served as a teacher, as a dean, as an assistant principal. We're very pleased that we're going to announce him as we have announced him as the principal. He has his degree from Purdue, so well, we have to forgive him for some things, I guess. Being an Indiana grad myself, so, but that's something that we're going to try to look past. Bob is very student-centered. He is really a man of integrity. He is hardworking, a good listener, and we know that he is going to continue with the good things that are going on with London, developing relationships, and moving us into the next level of making sure that all of our students are learning and growing. So I'm very pleased to introduce you to Bob Gurney.
First of all, thank you very much for having me tonight. Dr. Hyland contacted me a few days ago, and we were very, very happy to have the invitation. We are going to continue trying to meet the students' social, emotional, and academic needs in every way possible, and we want to do that through working with the teachers and making sure that they feel the support that they need to do the jobs that we think are so important. So thank you very much.
Good luck to you. And Representative Carol Senti is here this evening. Come on up, Carol.
So I didn't know it was such a full night tonight. Thank you. I just wanted to stop by and wish my sincere congratulations and as well as hello to many old friends, but particularly to Mayor Juris. Many wonderful years of success here. To Mr. Brady and where are you? And Bill, to Trustee Hine, and also a welcome to Mary Kruger. So I've had the pleasure of working with the Village Board for many, many years in a variety of capacities, and it's a great team, and I'm sure it will be a wonderful one under new leadership, and so just hello and nice to see everyone. I wanted to just briefly let you know that I am just back from Springfield. Anyone that wants to ask me any questions, you can. I'm sure, though, you have a full agenda, and we can't go too far down that path, but I am here. I do have 2 coffees a month on weekends. I do have a town hall coming up, and that'll be on Wednesday, June 26th, an end of session town hall. If anyone wants to come, everyone, it's 6:30 to 8 at the Vernon Library, and I'll be walking neighborhoods. So I'll be in Wheeling later this summer and in the fall. So again, it's just nice to see everyone, and I know you have a full agenda, so feel free and call. Okay?
Thank you, Carol. And you know what? The invitation is extended to you as well. Anytime you want to use our facility to have a town hall meeting, please feel free to contact our manager here, and we'll make those arrangements.
Thank you very much.
So you're going back to Springfield soon, I hope?
Well, yeah, I hope to finish up what we didn't get done, right? But aside from that, I'm home for the summer except for veto session, so.
Good. Thanks,
nice to see everyone.
We have proclamations.
Volunteer assistance during April 2013 floods. In April of 2013, northern Illinois was struck by heavy rains which created flood conditions in many areas, including the Des Plaines River watershed. As a result of dangerous conditions brought on by this flooding, a number of Wheeling residents were displaced from their homes. In order to assist their fellow residents in their time of need, a number of individuals from the Wheeling community gave generously of their time and effort. The volunteers included the members of the Community Assisted Relief Efforts Care Group, whose members have trained to be the primary staffing component for emergency relief centers established within the village. Volunteers worked in cooperation with the staff from the Village of Wheeling, the Wheeling Park District, the Wheeling Township, and the American Red Cross of Greater Chicago, as well as other relief agencies to help minimize the discomfort experienced by the victims of the flood. The contribution of these volunteers not only testified to the generosity and community spirit of this particular group of individuals, but also serves as an example of the enduring value of simply being a good neighbor in an increasingly fast-paced and globally networked world. Although the impact of the floods is still being felt by the families who were affected, and although the flood mitigation continues to be a challenge that requires ongoing cooperation at every level of government, the assistance provided by volunteers during the April 2013 floods are something in which all members of the Wheeling community can rightfully take pride. Dean Argyros, President of the Village of Wheeling, in the counties of Cook and Lake in the state of Illinois, do hereby offer the Village of Wheeling sincere thanks to these volunteers, and he calls upon all members of the Wheeling community to honor their example by seeking out opportunities to make Wheeling a better, safer, friendlier place to live, work, and grow.
Thank you. Let me go up there. On behalf of the Village Board, we'd like to thank the Care Group sincerely, the Park District, District 21, and all the other agencies that helped during a very, very
trying time for a lot of our residents. So I would ask, after your names are called, please come forward for your certificate.
Sheila Schultz. Nicole Baker. Kathy Belwar. Frank Bissett.
Linda's not here?
Linda's not here?
Will you see her? Thanks.
Carrie Ira Brown. Suzanne Cahill. Marty Chapman. Merle Feldman. Joyce Gerke. Thomas Gerke. Tom Gardner. Barbara Gerber. George Heber. Estelle Heber. Carol Jarecki. Don Johnson. Ann Lee. Yong Lee. Ann Lewandowski. And Ricky Lewandowski. Pat Mazurka. No? Oh, yeah. Sandy Nidetz. Gino Petrosky. John Richmond. Cindy Spadamaze. Gigi Stanton. Robert Voleride.
Roberta.
Oh, I'm sorry, Roberta Voleride. And Jack Voleride.
We'll make sure they get their certificates. Thank you again. Again, this would have never happened, that terrible 10, 11 days without the help of the Wheeling Park District. They gave their home to the residents, to the Red Cross, disrupted their activities that were going on a daily basis over there. And again, we are indebted and so grateful to the Wheeling Park District for all they did. And again, I'd like to applaud you guys, and please send that message back to you. We are going to take a 15-minute break, but before we do, I'd like to entertain a motion for an appointment and confirmation for Michael Cohen to the Senior Commission.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Trustee Hare, second by Trustee Brady. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein.
Yes.
Trustee Lang.
Yes.
Trustee Kruger.
Yes.
Trustee Hare.
Yes.
Trustee Vogel.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
President Argyris.
Yes. Is Mr. Cohen here? He is. You step over there for the administration of oaths, please. Thank you.
That's what it was.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Michael Cohen,
I, Michael Cohen,
having been appointed to the Senior Commission
have been appointed to the Senior Commission
in the Village of Wheeling
in the Village of Wheeling
in the counties of Cook and Lake,
and the counties of Cook and Lake,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the
of
Constitution
the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the
of
Constitution
the
of
State of Illinois,
the State of Illinois.
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
I will faithfully discharge the duties
of office of Senior Commissioner
of office of Senior Commissioner
according to the best of my ability.
as to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations. Mr. Cohen, thank you for volunteering, and I'm sure you're going to do a great job on the Senior Commission. I know Ms. Herzog will get a hold of you to kind of get you up to snuff what's going on and with the rest of the commission. You got a nice group of people there, so good luck to you.
Thank you very much for appointing me on the whole
Thank you.
board. I appreciate it.
And with that, we're going to take a 15-minute break to honor our CARE folks out there, and that's it. Back in session. Citizens' concerns and comments?
Members of the general public may address the board with concerns or comments regarding relevant issues. The person submitting a petition, concerns, or other comment shall be allotted 5 minutes to present their points. Mary Papantos.
Good evening. Item 13D on this evening's agenda is a request for approval for a special use cafe called Stella's Place. At the May 23, 2013 Plan Commission meeting, a motion to approve the special use did not pass. 5 nays, 0 ayes, 2 absent. In the agenda packet for this evening's meeting, a letter dated May 28th from the developer of Stella's Place is included, which responds to conditions proposed by the Plan Commission. In response to limiting the hours of operation to 9 to 11, Sunday through Thursday, and Friday and Saturday from 8 a.m. to 12 a.m., Mr. Gary Leff, CEO of Laredo Hospitality, stated, "In order to support our economics, we need the ability to operate during all liquor license hours." In other words, the petitioner is adamant that they be open 19 hours a day from 7 a.m. to 2 a.m. Mr. Leff believes that employees of Stella's Place will be able to enforce a 2-drink per hour limit and a maximum of 3 drinks while performing all other duties, which include verifying age, cooking, cleaning, answering questions, and serving. Mr. Leff does not believe intoxicated guests will be an issue. My concern is whether any establishment that serves alcohol should be located in a residential neighborhood less than 2 blocks from an elementary school. The NTSB recently proposed lowering the legal limit for blood alcohol content while operating a motor vehicle to no more than 0.05%. During a news interview, a representative of the NTSB explained that 0.05% would be equivalent to a 130-pound woman consuming 2 glasses of wine in a 1-hour time period. An individual with 0.05% blood alcohol content would be considered impaired under this new guideline. Please consider this scenario. A group of females who work 3rd shift stop at Stella's on their way home from work at 7:30 a.m. They have a light breakfast, 2 or 3 glasses of wine, gamble a little, and then head home. 1 or more exit the shopping center on Willie Avenue and head south. They could conceivably be driving through a school zone while children are walking and being dropped off. No impaired driver should ever be in a school zone. One of the questions to be considered when granting a special use is whether or not the location and size of the special use, the nature and intensity of the operation involved in or conducted with it, the size of the site in relation to it, and the location of the site with respect to streets giving access to it will be in harmony with and will not impede the normal, appropriate, and orderly development of the district in which it is located and the development of the surrounding properties. In this case, homeowners and residents surrounding the area feel that the location of the site with respect to streets giving access to it will not be in harmony with and will impede the normal, appropriate, and orderly development of the district. Another requirement for granting a special use is that the request will not be injurious to the use and enjoyment of other property in the immediate vicinity for purposes already permitted, nor diminish or impair property values of surrounding properties. In this case, since motor vehicle ingress-egress is directly across from residential property, we feel this special use will be injurious to the use and enjoyment of property in the immediate vicinity. Yet another question when considering the validity of a special use is, will visitors to the special use access the site through residential streets? In order to travel westbound on Dundee, Fresh Farm Development patrons must exit via Willie Avenue, a residential street. Ingress to the Fresh Farm Development for westbound Dundee Road traffic is via Willie Avenue. The petitioner has stated that this establishment will be low impact. Previously, the petitioner stated that estimated village revenue based on tax of net gambling proceeds will be $40,000 annually. Please note, this does not include revenue from food and drink sales. This means the petitioner is expecting net gaming revenue of $800,000 annually. This does not seem to be low impact to me. In conclusion, I'm not against the video gaming concept. In fact, I wish the petitioner success in his endeavor. However, in my opinion, this establishment does not belong in a residential neighborhood. Not everyone present here tonight is comfortable with public speaking, but I would like to ask individuals to stand if they are in agreement that this special use should be denied. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Christine Dagapole.
I have two things. After months of not having the ability to park in front of our homes, I want to thank then trustee Dean Argyris for coming up with a solution of 2-hour parking on Center Avenue. But after a few experiences of trying to notify the appropriate authorities that I was having company that was going to stay longer than 2 hours and being told, well, are you sure they're going to leave by 10 o'clock? We'll give them until 10:05. Well, I couldn't guarantee that. I think then trustee Argyris was a little tired of my emails to him and my phone calls, and he personally delivered parking passes to those of us living on Center Street. So, President Argyris, I want to thank you very much for that. And to whoever the blogger is on Wheeling Rumors, I do not have clout. Dean knows me from my former stints on the Plan Commission, and I think he was just tired of listening to me. Anyway, you all know how I feel about the gaming beer and wine cafe. I'm not opposed to the concept. It's just not appropriate in this proposed location. We've gotten our neighborhood back with the center's employees parking elsewhere. We have parking passes for our guests, and the neighborhood is once again almost back to normal. The Plan Commission has voted twice, not recommending this special use. It has nothing to do with state law. It is strictly the special use. When you vote on this special use, the provisions of which the petitioner has not met, when you think about the 19 hours they want to be open, when you think of entering and exiting the location of the facility off a residential street, Willie Avenue, when you think of a grade school 2 blocks down on Willie, and when you think of the fact that patrons may drink too much and drive through the neighborhood at all hours to leave the area, please stop and think of how you would feel if this was in your backyard or your neighborhood. The village and the petitioner can still make money in a more appropriate location. The only one who may not is the Sfigos Development Company, and perhaps they should have thought of that before they overbuilt that shopping center, didn't provide enough parking, and signed a lease with the tenant. Please think of the little people in this neighborhood and do the right thing for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Covina?
Hello.
Hi, I'm Ms. Covina. Good afternoon, the president and all the trustees and everybody else in the police department, fire department. I have something also concerns. The curfew should be changed from 11 o'clock to 10 o'clock at night. These kids are outside and their parents are not watching them. Parking all around Cedar Run, corner to corner, people speeding through Cedar Run, loud playing music, gangs, but the Wheeling Police Department formed a task force of 20 officers to go through Cedar Run. I was so pleased to see police officers combating the situation. And we would like to have a human rights committee again, so trans, sexuals, transgenders, and people of all genders can live in peace without being harassed, annoyed, assaulted, or even also maybe murdered. We have community status too. And we are people just like everybody else, but we're just a better, person to know better than having trouble having come to us when the authorities tell us, oh, they ignore us. Some of the policemen on Wheeling Police, they need to be educated again to be dealing with the transgender community and transsexuals and transvestites. We can't stop what we are, but we want to be treated as individuals, not being called a male name when we're a transsexual and she-male. We have rights. And the guns, we need the police department of Wheeling Police to do a universal background check if this gun concealed weapon permits are approved by Springfield. We don't want this, but anybody that owns a gun that should have a psychiatrist every year examine them and a background check to see if there's any emotional problems or mental problems with them. So we don't give a person that walks in our community to a gun, a would-be person that wants to shoot somebody that they don't like, especially us kind of people. And we're very concerned about that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Georgia Delaney.
Thank you. I believe that whatever service that is brought into the village of Wheeling should be good for the whole community. I don't think that Stella's, a gaming place with alcohol, is open for extended periods of time, is the proper place on a street with a school and homes. There is another Stella's going up in Lynn Plaza, only 1.5 miles away. This community has a high rate of unemployment, a plethora of empty stores, and a food pantry. I don't think we need 2 gaming places, especially in a neighborhood with homes, in a school, down the street, with people driving under the influence at all hours of the day and night, especially when it's school time and now summertime for the children playing outside, and they're not listening or looking for cars. They all have iPods and earbuds and everything. So parking is very tight and congested in that parking lot, and I live across the street, and we're afraid that people will be parking in our private property only, and if they do, we will tow them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kathy Edmonds.
Good evening, Board. I just want to let you know, Kathy Edmonds, Board of Education, District 21. At our last reorganizational meeting, I was named as the village liaison. So just wanted to introduce myself. Of course, I know many of the board members, but I don't know many of the staff members. So if maybe we can get together, concerns, challenges, things I can bring back to my board for us to discuss, I'd greatly appreciate that. You can contact me and we can see what we could do, any type of services. And in addition to it, if I can piggyback on that, I do recall one of the village board meetings, I believe at the time Trustee Argyris, you had mentioned as a trustee, that wanting to do some type of meeting with all the different intergovernment, presence we have here to see how we can help the village, park district, school district as well. And I'd really entertain trying to do something like that, getting together, as you saw, during the storms
Sure.
how everybody came together and just knowing each other's services and things like that. So I'd welcome that, and I'd be able to, bring anything back to my board that you'd like, but just want to introduce myself as liaison.
Good. Thanks,
Thank you.
Kathy, for sure. Get it?
Uh-huh.
No staff reports, consent agenda?
All items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the village board and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a board member or citizen so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered after all other agenda items.
Entertain a motion?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Brady,
Second.
second by trustee Hare. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Hare?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
President Argyris?
Yes. There is no old business. New business, Madam Clerk?
Resolution, item 13C, resolution approving an amendment to the FY14 budget for Chicago Executive Airport.
Mr. Abbott, are you here? Why don't you come on up in case anybody has any concerns? Briefly, why don't you just, what are we amending here?
Sure. President Argyris, trustees, good evening. This resolution is meant to amend the current year budget, the FY14 budget, to, for the purchase of a pickup truck. The airport board approved the purchase of this pickup truck in the last year's budget, FY13, and back in March. Unfortunately, the vendor is not able to deliver that truck to us until next week. So technically, purchased it last year, but we have to pay for it in this year. So that's what this resolution is. That's why it's before you tonight.
So moved. Second.
Motion by trustee Vogel, second by trustee Brady. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Hare?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
President Argyris?
Yes. Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you.
Item 13D, ordinance granting special use and associated site plan approval for sit-down restaurants for Stella's Place at 255 East Dundee Road, docket number 2013-2.
Thank you. Is the petitioners here? Why don't you come on up front? Mr. Janik?
Thank you. This petition, or this case request has been before the village board previously. We went back to the planning commission. Both times, planning commission did vote in a negative fashion. This concerns approximately 1,800 square foot space at the corner of Milwaukee and Dundee Roads. And petitioners are here tonight to discuss a sit-down restaurant with gaming.
Thank you. Mr. Leff?
Yeah, hi, Gary Leff, Laredo Hospitality. Yeah, we are looking to open up a Stella's Place. As you see in the pictures here on the end cap, Stella's Place is an adult cafe and gathering place. It'll serve beer and wine only, light bites, and we will offer video gaming. As you can see here from our floor plan, we are 31 seats. That includes the gaming area in the back and the 5 additional poofs here for people to pull up and game with friends. These tables here are swing arm tables for people who want to dine or grab a drink while they're eating. We think of it as a premium gaming experience with lots of room back here. And then can't move it over to see the whole cafe, but hold on a sec. Anyway, and this is our 31 seats up front. This represents the property over here as our space. We were asked by the Planning Commission to add a designated or dedicated smoking area. We placed it to make sure it was 15 feet from any entrance, and that location is right here. It's just a bench that we coordinated with the landlord that we would put out there. Nick, I don't know if you want to comment.
Right, there was concern from residents that due to people standing outside the shopping center smoking, that there would be excessive noise. So the landlord has agreed to encourage the dedicated smoking area, which is in excess of 15 feet in the middle of the Liquor Barn storefront, which is well away from any entrance and Willie Avenue.
This is our location in Hoffman Estates in Hoffman Village. It's on Gulf and Barrington Roads. It is not yet open. We are waiting for a gaming license, but as you can see, it's fully built out. And we think it's, here's some more additional pictures. It's a very nice build out. We put a lot of effort into making it a very high quality experience. We've both been in the restaurant and hospitality industry for over 50 years, and we do everything. We put a lot of our passion into what we do and really shoot to deliver the highest quality experiences we can. And this just gives you a sense of exactly what we'll be building in at Wheeling Fresh Farms. This is a snapshot of our menu. It's hard to see it probably for anyone here because it's pretty small print, but we will be offering light bites, shareable plates for people to eat. Things like under the light bite section, chicken wings, spinach artichoke dip, turkey chili. We'll offer a bunch of minis, like mini hamburgers, mini chicken sliders, mini meatball sliders. We're doing a variety of flatbread pizzas and other different sandwiches. And then we will offer a full breakfast menu with freshly made breakfast sandwiches, muffins, cinnamon rolls, etc. And we really think of Stella's as an adult cafe. It's for those adults that want to hang out in an adult environment. This is 21 and over. Socialize, grab a light bite with friends, maybe grab a beer or wine, and do that all, and maybe game, but all in a non-bar environment. This is non-threatening, it's safe, it's clean, we don't have a bar, it's beer and wine only because we do not want people to hang out and drink. We haven't done this in the past, but we are in our discussions with the Planning Commission and the concern of the residents over drinking, which we completely respect. We volunteered to put in a 3-drink maximum and 2 per hour, 3 drinks total. We're confident that we can manage that in this environment, highly confident. Our intent is not to let people hang out here and get drunk. We'd like them to relax and enjoy a beer or a glass of wine or 2. But it does us no good if we have people overindulging in our environment. So we are happy to oblige to that request. I think we, just to go through the conditions real quickly, 31 seats was the first one. Our drawing was originally, going completely the wrong way. We had an error in our previous floor plan, so we revised that. The fire lane along the south side of the west building to be restriped to reflect the shift in its location. I can let Nick address that one.
Yeah, we've worked together with the fire department to reconfigure the parking areas along the shopping center perimeter to address the parking pressure at the center. And we will be restriping that back thoroughfare at the request of the fire department during our annual seal coating and restriping this summer. And also, there was a request to remove the parking that we have placed in the designated drive-through area at 92 South Milwaukee, which we are happy to do if that is an issue for the fire department. We've agreed to that at previous meetings.
The fourth condition was no one under 21 years of age shall be allowed in the establishment. We're of course fine with that. That's our policy across all of our locations. We've spoken about the designated smoking area, and as we saw in this picture, we've designated an area to the east of the unit in front of the liquor barn unit. The special use, or the Planning Commission, I'm sorry, asked us to limit our hours to 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. And 7 a.m., I'm sorry, and 8 a.m. to 12 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. We understand the residents' concerns on that one. it's harder for us to accept that just because it represents a significant cut on our hours, what we've built our economics on. I guess what I would, and I don't know how this works exactly, but in this location, I would ask, we understand the 9 a.m. because of the school. Again, we really don't think people are going to be drinking in the morning. It's like if they were to go to any other place. We expect to serve coffees and muffins and, I don't know, maybe an occasional glass of beer or wine, but we do not expect people to come here and drink early in the morning, just like other establishments with liquor licenses. Having said that, I guess we could accept that. We'd like to push the closing hours to 12 p.m. during the week. And during the week, on Sunday through Thursday, we would ask if we could open up at 7 a.m. and close at 1 a.m. So that we can make up for some of the limited hours that the Planning Commission recommended. We've talked about the maximum drink policy, which we're fine implementing and confident that we would do a good job of implementing. And of course, we will place on condition 8 a trash receptacle outside our main entrance.
Can you repeat those hours again, please?
Yes, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and 7 a.m. to 1 a.m. On Friday and Saturday.
12 a.m., 9 a.m. to 12 a.m.
I'm sorry, 12 a.m.
Sunday through Thursday. And
yeah.
Friday and Saturday?
Friday and Saturday, 7 a.m. till 1 a.m.
Okay. Go ahead, I'm sorry. Anything else?
That's all I have to say, Nick.
I think from the landlord's point of view here is that we have worked together with the Village of Wheeling for a very long time to, breathe, a breath of fresh air into the corner of Dundee and Milwaukee. And I think that our development there has finished off the corner as we'd all hoped, and the community is better off as a result. Now, the retail shops are there. We will have to fill the locations with a user. And I think that Gary Leff, along with Sfigos Development and Fresh Farms, have tried to address all of the concerns with the residents as well as the village to try to make this a tenant and a member of the community that works well with the surrounding areas. And I understand that there are a lot of concerns with alcohol, but I would like to remind everyone that this area butts right up to Restaurant Row, and there are plenty of restaurants with liquor license, with extended hours, with breakfast, with lunch hours that serve alcohol there's nothing restricting someone from driving through a neighborhood after that. And we have not seen that as an issue or a problem. I think that this will be a very, very light user for a shopping center that is very busy. That is our kind of initial excitement about Stella's, is that we do not expect to have heavy parking pressure as a result. So this is an approved user in the village. This is an approved use in the village. I don't see how our shopping center can be singled out to not include a user that is welcomed in other areas of the community. We are not going anywhere. Obviously, we're invested in Wheeling. Fresh Farms is there, and we are never going to be putting tenants in there that are going to draw customers or residents away from a center that we have our whole lives invested in. We're part of the Wheeling community, and we want to be a positive part of the community. So I think, as I've looked at this matter over and over again with Gary and the village, I think this is a great opportunity that we've all had to work together to make a user work within the confines of the community. Because if this isn't approved and we go back to the market, we may put someone in there that is a much heavier user, and I don't think anyone really benefits from that. So, Gary and us have talked about this at length with everyone, and we think that this is a good fit for the center, a great fit for the community, as it's already allowed in other places, and it's within our overall development scheme. So,
thank you. Mr. Trustee here.
Sure, I'll go first. Let's remind you, though, the community also invested in you, both with financial assistance.
Absolutely.
So to stand up there and tell us that you're doing us a favor, I mean, I agree with that the corner looks great. But it all comes down to, I just have to ask one question. You guys are holding on to this so hard, and I have several questions. And the first one is, you've changed the smoking area down in front of another store with permission of you guys. Who's going to police that?
Well, you know, the overall rule in the Village of Wheeling is 15 feet, instead of 15 feet from the door. So it is the same as anywhere else. We're trying to take it one step further and try to direct people away. And I do understand your point that we don't have a smoking police out there per se, but we also don't want our tenants, customers to be bothered, nor do we want the residents. So there is some motivation on our part to police that.
And I appreciate that. You throw that out as a caveat, because you just go over to the Ram. They're 5 feet from the front door. I mean, what I'm getting at is no one's going to police it. So to throw that out as one of those little caveats to this thing, like, look at what we're doing. I appreciate that part of it. But the other thing I come down to is, like, I like the concept of this. I really do. But the village seems to be getting inundated with these video gambling machines in this type of a concept. But why this location? I mean, I read the Planning Commission. We've even said it when I was up here before, when you guys came back the first time. You go by the Westin. I mean, there's wonderful locations down there. Why this spot?
I will tell you, I think as the representative of the developer and the landlord, I find it, I really find it hard to stand up in front of the village and have people tell me to promote tenants that are very high-end tenants in what we consider to be a very high-end center, and I think everyone else does, to encourage people to go to other centers. I don't even, to be perfectly honest, I don't even know how to address that. I'm never going to tell Gary to go to another center if I don't think the use worked, and I do think it works because Fresh Farms is high-end, the center is high-end, and Gary's use is high-end, and he is producing a high-end product as he has in Hoffman Estates.
And again, that's not even open yet, because that would have been my follow-up question. We would have asked how many times the cops were over at the one in Hoffman Estates. But with that being said, we go back to what you said before. I saw it on TV, and I also read the minutes of the Planning Commission. They asked him, why did you sign a lease before this was even approved? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Because we can't go through the process and get approved on a liquor license, and I don't think on a special use either until you have a signed lease.
But why wasn't that said at the Planning Commission too? I mean, it wasn't even in their minutes. It just said that you signed a lease, and if you can't get out, you apparently have a way of getting out of it if this isn't approved tonight.
Right.
That's correct.
Okay, I think I got one more here, and then I'll let somebody else. You talk about parking issues. Obviously, your success is our hindrance here in the community. We were trying to work with the community, and I know Ms. Dogopole stood up there and spoke how the president came to her aid and did all this stuff, which I applaud, and I think that's wonderful. But I personally believe this is a short-term solution for a long-term problem. Because once this goes back in there, what's to say the lease that you have now with the other entities away from Fresh Farms is just going to dry up and you guys say, forget it. Let these people fend for themselves. I've driven through your lot. I shop down there. I go there. I see the parking every day. I see how they're parked behind the building. I see it. Everybody's experiencing it. We're trying to work. But I'm just saying it's never going to go away unless you guys try to work with us. And I'm not saying you're not, but this has to be a long-term solution, not a short-term one, just to get this establishment in there.
I think I'm a little bit confused at the comment or the question. I mean, you're saying that Stella's is a short-term solution to the parking?
You said earlier in your conversation up here tonight that You guys have worked with the village with the parking issues and things like this. I just
Right.
wanted to get out there to let you know that I think it's just a short term, just to get this through, and then you're going to want to revert back to the way it was before, and I hope you don't.
No, I mean, I don't think we would be able to revert back to open parking on the streets.
Of course you won't be able to do that.
So I don't know what else we would be, I don't know what else would change at the center then if we...
Well, how are you going to, again, this is off, again, you got another vacant store there at the other end, and he has the drive-through portion of that.
Correct.
How are you ever going to pull that one off is beyond me. You know, unless issues of parking are addressed within that structure. You go in that place every day and you take your life in your hands driving through that parking lot.
What you're saying is a completely valid comment, and that's exactly our interest with Stella's, is that we do not want to put Chipotle, for example, at 255, because they'll have 50 people that sit there for 45 minutes, and I don't think the end can sustain it.
Chipotle's not in front of us right now. We can't really
No, I'm saying a heavy, fast, casual food user, for example, would be a problem.
We're talking about him, and I personally believe his business, this is the last thing I'm going to say, is not compatible for the area, and it doesn't fit the special use. And I'll leave my comments end there, and I appreciate it, Mr. President, for giving me the time.
Thank you. Trustee Lang?
Thank you. There's been really good arguments both for and against this use, and you know, listening to the several Plan Commission meetings on it, and you know, a lot of good points come up for and against, but I have a couple questions actually for Chief Benson. We have a couple of these facilities already in the village, and have there been reported disturbances? Are there any issues so far or problems with the ones that are currently open in the village?
Although both have only been open for a short time, we have not experienced an increase in calls for service with the addition of the gaming machines to this point.
Okay. And then, and looking back at that area too with a liquor license, for instance, Rise and Dine used to have a liquor license, and they voluntarily gave it up for their own reasons. But were there issues with Rise and Dine? They had a full liquor license, from what I recall. Were there any issues with individuals at Rise and Dine causing issues in the neighborhood, driving drunk or?
Not that I recall.
Breakfast time. Yeah. Okay. So is it pretty fair to say that we don't have a huge issue with drunken drivers from our bars and some of the drinking establishments? I mean, a huge issue?
No, I wouldn't say a huge issue. Both the other establishments were already established as a lawful liquor selling establishment, and we haven't seen a change or a rise in the amount of calls or the amount of liquor-related issues at either of those establishments.
Okay. Well, thank you. And Mr. Leff, questions? Just a little bit about the facility itself. You don't have to drink alcohol to use it. Is that correct?
Absolutely not.
I mean, you said yourself you doubt that many people will drink in the morning. I can't imagine having wine or beer in the morning.
I don't think we'll serve, I'd be surprised if we served one out of every 50, 100 guests drinks in the morning. It's not part of our business plan. And quite frankly, we don't expect to serve a lot of alcohol, beer, or wine through most of the day. It's really not a big part of our business plan, and that's why we were so willing. I mean, we quickly gave up the drink maximum, or offered the drink maximum, because it's not a big part of our business plan. Yes, at night, may someone want to have a glass of wine if they're playing video games or hanging it out? Yes, we do not think people are coming here as a drinking establishment. It's just part of the experience.
Okay. And go over again what you're serving to non-alcoholic beverages.
We will be serving a full line of coffee beverages, espresso beverages, sodas, iced tea, lemonade, what's that? Cappuccinos, yeah, full coffee program. And we do think that'll be the majority of beverages that we serve will be non-alcoholic beverages.
And just a last question, I don't know if this was ever asked before, but how will the public know that there is gaming inside this facility?
We think the public will find out over time about the gaming in the facility. We do not plan to scream it. We don't have a big flashing sign that says video gaming. Again, we want this to be a classy, upscale place that people feel good about going to, whether or not they're gaming. And we think just over time, people will find out that this is a premium place to come if you don't want to go to a bar and game.
Okay. And no beer signs in the
No beer signs, no. We really believe that over time, people will discover the entertainment portion of what we're offering, the gaming portion.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else? Trustee Kruger?
I have a question. It's likely for staff or John. I know that the residents have expressed concern about the school, the neighboring school, and I'm wondering if anyone from Walt Whitman School or School District 21 has voiced any concern about the establishment.
I have not received any, nor do I believe any department has received any complaints or input from the school.
Thank you.
Trustee Brady?
Thank you. This floor plan is not the one that the Plan Commission seen last week.
We were asked to revise the floor plan from last week by the Plan Commission. I don't know if it was part of the notes or not, but it should have been. And the reason was there was some confusion over the number of seats. It was an old floor plan. So we submitted the revised floor plan upon the request of the Planning Commission.
Could you bring it up on the...
Yeah, sure.
I'm kind of surprised because the law says, I think, to have gambling in an establishment, you have to have a 31-seat establishment. And you've got a 21-seat establishment. Okay, you put a little table next to the machines, and then people are going to have to eat off of them little stools that are lined up on the wall, too.
Right. We actually had more seats, 7 more seats, because we were asked at one point to reduce the number of seats, but we still had 7 more seats than what's shown here. We were asked by the Planning Commission to reduce the number of seats, and I don't know, maybe Nick, you have a better recollection. Was that out of a parking concern?
I don't remember what the concern was, but it was raised by the Planning Commission and in an effort to work together. I think Gary just agreed to it quite readily.
I watched the meeting, and I never heard anybody asking anything below 31 seats.
Yeah.
Good evening. Charity Johns, Laredo Hospitality. It's my recollection when we were here last, there was some confusion whether or not we were going to include the movable seats or not in the seat count. And how would that impact, because friends might come to play, the actual parking. So they said they would like us to include the 5 poofs in the back along with the 5 gaming positions, which gives you 10 in the back, which is why we took the seat count out front down in order to accommodate that so that we wouldn't reflect too many seats where it would maybe become a parking issue. So we conceded that and made that change in the plan.
See, this is the problem. The Plan Commission hasn't seen this new plan. There's a couple of them here tonight looking at it now for the first time. And I took their comments a little differently. So what your interpretation of what they said and my interpretation of what they said are 2 different things. How do we know we got the right plan?
And I'm sorry, can you repeat your interpretation?
Well, my interpretation is that right now this is not a 31-seat restaurant.
Okay, I'm confused only because I think we were directly guided by the Planning Commission. In fact, I'm positive to reduce the number of seats to get to this number.
Mr. Janik, do you have something you can add to the conversation?
I really can't add that much except for the fact that the Planning Commission did at one time not consider the movable chairs as seats, and the last Planning Commission meeting, the request was to consider those as seats now. And really, when you say a new floor plan, a table was taken out of the floor plan, but there are 31 seats as required.
So the law that says a restaurant has to have 31 seats doesn't matter what the seat, all stools against the wall then. Eat on your lap. Sorry, good.
That was at the request of the Plan Commission.
All right. Well, you know, I'd rather that these things, the Plan Commission seen them before they come to us. These final plans, again, final plans are coming to us that the Plan Commission never saw on a hearsay note. Anyways, that's item number one. This special use is under scrutiny because it is a special use. Special uses give us the opportunity and the duty to look at each business as it sits in an area. Your business, and don't get me wrong, my favorite game is video poker. I mean, when I'm in Vegas, just put me in a bar with video poker, and I'm happy for the whole day. And I love the game. And I think your businesses are very, very good, and they'll be welcome here, and they're low-key and small and nice. This particular site, I have a problem with. You know, it's not the traffic, because you didn't build that shopping center. Your input is going to be small, and whether it's a block and a half from a school, I can't see people coming out of here molesting kids or influencing kids in any way. It's a nice looking place. It's not a sleazy bar or anything, but there are two great big items. And first one is the impact on the neighborhood, especially the people directly across. The value of their property, is it going to decline? It could, you know, very much so. Your hours of operation, and come summertime, a nice summer evening, you want to sit on your front porch, you're less than around 100 feet away from your establishment, and people are going to go out and smoke because they can't stay inside now, the law says that, and they're going to talk, and it'll be a little loud, and it's going to be very upsetting to 3 or 4 house full of families there. But the biggest thing is, this shopping center never put a buffer in, which is needed. It's in our code. There's got to be a physical buffer between these types of zoning districts. There is none there. So, I mean, it's a direct contact with this business. There's other businesses that could go in there that would not even need a special use, would be probably less invasive than this might be for parking and everything else. A flower shop, barber shop, dentist office, doctor's office, vacuum cleaner sales, which you had in the shopping center, or the old shopping center, or a tax service, would not require special use. This requires a special use. This is going to affect them 4 houses or whatever there is across Willie Avenue. There's a narrow street. Your shopping center is built right up to the sidewalk, and there's nothing to go. You know, I don't know what more I can say about that. It's just not the right place for this business.
I think with the new shopping center, maybe, you know, it's easy to forget the layout of the old shopping center before was almost identical with that, I believe it was a currency exchange that ran all the way up next to Willie as well. Not much has changed on that end, and, you know, we do, for example, have a barber shop. We have Great Clips there, and from what I've watched and the amount of the excessive amount of time spent at that shopping center, Great Clips is by far a heavier user than we, you know, predict Stella's to ever be. You know, we don't, I've seen Great Clips 5 or 6 people waiting plus 4 staff. We don't expect to have people with the same amount of traffic. Now, the other item as well that, in the spirit of our redevelopment, is to generate sales tax and tax for the village, and this does accomplish that item as well. So, you know, a service-based industry is a little bit tough for us in this center based off the redevelopment agreement. You know, and for us on the landlord side, it is a light user.
Now, the people pay taxes too, and maybe not as much as this business would, or even the shopping center certainly, but they're entitled to their rights, and we write these codes
Absolutely.
to protect people like that, and just because they're little mas and pas or aunts and uncles that live across the street, there's no reason we have to reject them because we're making money here. The thing of it is, this whole part of the building, coming up to the old part of the building, Is that considered grandfather when you knock the whole building down and build it back at the same location? Or should we have followed our own code and made you guys build it back 10 feet so we could put a physical barrier there, like a landscape barrier? And there was never a window facing the homes. Now there is.
Right, I agree with you there. Where we're at now is we're trying to operate within the constraints of what we have, as well as the,
Those are my concerns. Thank you.
Manager Spandelis, you got something to clarify, right?
Speaking just of what the code reads, the request is for a B1 restaurant, beer and wine license. The conditions for such, a Class B1 licensed premises must provide a minimum table seating capacity for meal service for 30 persons. So just to clarify, the number is actually 30.
Does that say table service? Because there aren't
meal service.
There aren't 30 tables in there.
Minimum table seating capacity for meal service.
Meal service.
Meal service, table. You don't have 30 tables. You have 30 seats, but not 30 tables. I'm stretching it, but, And well, it seems like their main concern is the gambling machines, because they're willing to give up their bar service, they're willing to give up their whatever they have to for the restaurant service to get the gambling machines in there. But if that passes the scrutiny of the law, so be it.
Trustee Vogel, any comments?
Just one. A couple of times it said that you're going to hold it to a 2-drink minimum. I understand you got 50 years in the hospitality industry experience, not yourself personally, because I don't think you're pushing 70 yet. But how do you do that?
Good evening again. I am the Vice President of Operations, so I will be responsible for hiring the folks to work at Stella's, as well as hopefully from the Wheeling community, all of which will be background checked. Just protects us and, of course, the community, as well as Bassett trained. That is part of the certification process to be able to serve alcohol. And then we will constantly check our own operations, as I encourage all of you to do so, to come in and test to make sure we're carding and making sure we're not serving anybody more than that. We take it very seriously. I've worked in the restaurant business for a very long time. Never had any issues, and I plan to continue that legacy.
Okay, I walk in with 4 other people and I go to the bar or whatever and order 5 drinks. Are you going to give them to me?
No, you don't get 5 drinks at one time ever. I'm sorry.
If I got 4 other people that I'm buying for, you're not going to give them to me?
Not unless you all have IDs, and you can't get in my establishment without being 21.
All right,
so
if I come in with my grandfather and my grandmother.
you can come and I'll serve each one of you a drink, and then I'll monitor your intake.
But you would not sell me 5 drinks?
Absolutely not.
And none of your bartenders would?
No, you're not allowed to have that. That's not how we operate.
You can sit up here and tell me I'm not allowed to have that.
You're not. I will be
buy
very
that.
nice to you, but I might even ask you to leave if you keep badgering me.
Good night.
That's cute.
So go to your room
now.
Do I have my... Can I leave?
Anything else?
No, thank you.
Trustee Hein?
Thank you. In looking at the conditions that were put on the Planning Commission, I need some clarification from our staff and perhaps the attorney. I don't believe we've ever put a restriction or a minimum drink policy on any of our liquor establishments in the village of Wheeling. And you're giving a total of 3. And I find that extremely hard to enforce. And what is if it is put into effect, what is the penalty if they serve more? To me, this is a liquor commission item, not a planning commission item. Also, this type of establishment is governed by the state of Illinois, and if you read the statutes on this particular item, it's pretty, pretty intense. And they go by the rules and regulations for the liquor establishment. I can't understand why we're going to prohibit somebody under 21 years of age to go in and have a hamburger or something to eat, okay? Just because of the fact that they are serving liquor. I don't know of any place in town that we have that restriction. We have one other establishment that has the same type of liquor license, and that's Wapagetti's over on the west side of town. And Wapagetti's has a good business with the young folks that go in there, and he has parties with the high school and so on and so forth, and now he's serving beer and wine, and yet we did not put any stipulations on him. So are we over regulating to a point where we cannot control it? We cannot enforce. We can control it, but we can't enforce it. I don't believe in those kinds of rules and regulations. We work very hard with the Liquor Commission and with the police department, and they do an excellent job. They have their undercover people going in and so on and so forth, and all kinds of good operations. And we know the types of people that establishments that get intoxicated. The Village of Wheeling has worked very hard over the years to not have those types of establishments. Case in point, Jeffrey Lanes shares a road with 127 North Wolf Road, which is a condo complex. In order to get to that condo complex, you must go on the same road as Jeffrey Lanes. Not too far from Jeffrey Lanes is a park with a park playground for the children. And yet nobody came out and said, we don't want one here because of all the kids we got living here at 127 North Wolf Road. This shopping center is very successful. And if we did things in the past to approve this special use and did not take in consideration buffers and all that other type of stuff that's been talked about this evening, shame on us. But to take and put an establishment in a position to not be successful, I looked at these folks' backgrounds. They're very extensive in Bassett. They do their homework. They've been in a number of different communities in the area with no black marks against them. Our police department did an intensive investigation and came up with that these people do a fine job. Those are the kinds of people that we want in our liquor establishments. We want people there that understand the laws, they abide by the laws, and they enforce the laws. That's who we want there. And from what I can see with these folks, they do that. It's been going on for years in Wheeling. Milwaukee Avenue has always been Restaurant Row with a multitude of different types of drinking establishments. Wheeling's been known for that since the day it was born. A good case in point is the old Union Hotel. Backed up to the school, backed up to Walt Whitman School. In fact, the Union Hotel used to lease out a portion of their property to the school for a ball diamond. Nobody ever complained about the Union Hotel. Nobody complained about Kisses that went in after the Union Hotel. Nobody complained about Manda's when it went in after that, and Billy and Company. I can understand the plight of these folks that live in that neighborhood. But most of the folks that live in that neighborhood are old, established residents. And they've done a good job over the years in policing their neighborhood. But what we're doing here is we're creating something that we have no control in doing, and we can't enforce our own laws. We can't enforce a deal of having somebody come in there and say, you got 2 drinks, and the third one you can't have any more.
I'll throw you out.
They got dram shop for that. These people have to pay dram shop. The state of Illinois is one of the very few states that still has dram shop. We have a number of establishments on Milwaukee Avenue that will qualify for these gaming machines. It's a question of time before they start asking for them. How many, I don't know. The Westin Hotel is a great spot for one. No question about it. So are some of the other places. If you've noticed, okay, the ones that have so far asked for a gaming license are old established businesses in the village of Wheeling. And they've been there a long time. So I am not for these items that are in here under these special uses, the conditions, one being item number 6, and the item number 4, you know, when we created all these different licenses, we put a time parameter on how late they can stay open. And our police department is very strict on making sure these folks close down when they're supposed to close down. This is in a very high impact area, and it's right on Dundee Road. I am sure that one of our police officers going down in his squad car at a given time, and he sees all the lights on and everything is going full blast there, they're going to stop by and make sure these people close and maybe even give them a citation. So, are we over-regulating? I think we are. It's a question of, somebody mentioned Rise and Dine. Rise and Dine had a full liquor license. They backed up to one of the homes right there. They opted out of the business because they decided to close up late at night, and they only stay open to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It didn't do anything for their business, so they gave up their liquor license voluntarily. We have to be able to give our residents, all the residents in the village of Wheeling, the opportunity to do the things that they like to do. And having 5 machines in there to play video poker certainly isn't going to become a grotto and a place where the people are going to be conjugating, okay, that we don't want in our town. So I'm going to tell you something. This is a real tough issue, and these folks they've come forward and they spoke their piece. But I'm looking at this is something that we have to take in consideration for the entire village. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else from staff? Before I entertain a motion, let's clarify a couple of things real quick. One of the Plan Commission's number 5, revision of hours, we need to revise those hours based on what we heard today from Mr. Leff. That Sunday through Thursday, the hours of operations from 9 a.m. to 12 a.m., midnight, and Friday and Saturday from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Yeah, you know what, let me restate those because I mixed some apples and oranges there. I'm trying to be considerate of the concerns on the school. We do not think that's an issue whatsoever, but in the spirit of trying to push this forward, we want to be accommodating, and maybe we can revisit that in the future after the residents realize that we're really a good neighbor and we don't have the issues that are being contemplated. So just to restate, Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 12 a.m.
That's correct.
Friday, 9 a.m.
Sunday through Thursday?
Monday through Thursday.
Okay.
I'm splitting it into 4 categories here because Friday, 9 a.m. I'd really like to push for 2 a.m. because it's a 2 a.m. liquor license, and I don't understand what the issue is operating late. Saturday, 7 a.m. till 2 a.m., and Sunday, 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. I'm sorry, a.m. Did that again.
Sunday?
7 a.m. to 12 a.m.
I kind of like the other way.
I'm sorry.
I like the other way better.
Mean the original.
Yeah.
But it. Okay, let's talk about this.
Well, you came up here, you gave a 10-minute dissertation about the 9 a.m. to 12 a.m. Sunday through Thursday, and then the 7 a.m. to 1 a.m. Friday and Saturday. Now we got 4 categories
Okay,
here,
so-
and we're all over the place.
But if we're the issue with the 9 a.m. on Sunday is it was a school thing, so that's why I'm changing that. So so that's why I peeled off Sunday to be different, because I understood the 9 a.m. to be a school issue, so I'm trying to stick to 9 a.m. during all Monday through Friday. And then, yes, the 12 a.m. on Sunday, a closing hour, Sunday through Thursday, and Friday closing hour. I guess I would look for feedback. We'd like to push it to 2 with the liquor license, but I guess I'd want feedback from the board on that.
President Argyris?
Please, go ahead.
Let's see how it all goes, and let's leave the hours as is for the Plan Commission and see how this goes before we start extending hours.
The recommendation that the Plan Commission has down there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
9 to 11?
Yeah.
And then 8 to 12 a.m. Friday and Saturday.
If things work smoothly, report back to us and we'll entertain changing it. But for now, let's not get carried away.
Thursday? What's Friday, Saturday?
Friday, Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 12 a.m.
8, 12?
Right. Sunday through Thursday is 9 a.m. to 11 p.m., which is
Okay.
recommended by the Plan Commission as one of the conditions.
Okay.
What's anybody's thought or consensus on the 2-drink minimum, or we'll kick you out?
I don't think it can be enforced.
I don't think it can be enforced.
So item number 6.
Scratch it.
Scratch it. So your only change on the entertaining the motion would be the item number 6, which would be the minimum drink requirement.
Maximum.
I'm sorry, item number
7.
7, excuse me. Entertain a motion?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Lang,
Second?
second by trustee Hein. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Here?
No.
Trustee Vogel?
No.
Trustee Brady?
No.
President Argyris?
Yes.
Ward 3.
Great, thank you.
Item 13E, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance granting special use approval for an indoor sports and recreation facility within an existing industrial building at 7150 Capitol Drive, docket number 20137.
Mr. Janik. And the petitioner, please come forward.
Thank you. This concerns a special use down at the Capitol Commerce Center. This was previously a corporate office for Garden Fresh. Petitioner here is here to talk about this. The request is to transform this building into a recreation building. It's going to have go-karts. It's going to have a climbing wall. No food preparation. If they need food, they'll bring it in and warm it up, catered. And the rest of the details, the petitioner can explain.
State your name, please.
My name is Adi Moore. I'm owner of Party Fantasy. This is our second location. I'm also owner of Garden Fresh Market in Hints. In any case, we have a very good success in Mundelein. We turned one of our building into Party Fantasy. That it's a family recreation. It's got a dance floor, climbing wall, inflatables, arcade, and party rooms, and go-karts. And we want to open here in Wheeling, same.
Okay. Questions from the board?
I like it. I'll entertain the motion.
Anybody else down here?
I like it also. I'll second the motion.
Motion by trustee Hare, second by trustee Vogel. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Hare?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Item 13F.
Resolution accepting a bid and approving a contract with Brothers Asphalt Paving Incorporated for the 2013 motor fuel tax street improvement program.
Mr. Janik.
This is a request to approve a contract bid with Brothers Asphalt for approximately $1.75 million for a large amount of paving for this year's street improvement project. We will have additional funds for additional paving outside of this contract that we'll be bringing to you at a later date.
And what would that be for?
It will be for additional asphalt paving, road improvement, patching, curbing, that sort of thing.
Throughout the village. Is that what we talked about a while ago regarding 4 feet, 5 feet from the curb lane to the middle?
That is one thing that we are considering, yes. This would be, this project here is for Shadow Bend and the entire area of Shadow Bend as well as East Dunhurst, approximately 11,000 linear feet of roadway and curbing. And the additional funds, which total approximately $860,000, would be used for other patching work in the village.
Okay. Questions?
Yes, one quick one.
Trustee here.
On the latter part of your statement there, can you tell people in TV land where those areas might be? So if it's their street that might be affected by this?
Right now, trustee here, we haven't decided on what roadways or exactly how we're going to be patching the streets. So I would like to defer on that answer until a later date and give you a better idea of what streets we'll be looking at.
Fair enough, thanks.
Trustee Brady?
You know, in driving around town, most of our streets are getting pretty sad looking. I think we got to come up with a way to handle this other than so many feet of street a year. We're falling way behind. I'd like to have staff kind of really take a look at that and see what we can do. So,
Trustee Brady, we are doing that right now. There are a number of options that we can pursue that changes the way that we proceed with full reconstruct or overlay on our streets that will address exactly your concern. So we're already doing that.
Good. Thank you.
Okay, we got a motion from trustee here, second by?
Second.
Trustee Lang, roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Hare?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes. 13G.
Resolution authorizing the village president and village clerk to execute an estoppel agreement in relation to the North Tiff Weston Hotel redevelopment project.
Mr. Smith?
Yes. Before you this evening for consideration and potential approval is an estoppel agreement requested by a purchaser for the hotel. If approved, the estoppel agreement would provide, as set forth in sections A, B, C, and D of the estoppel certificate and agreement, that there are no defaults with regard to the construction obligations of the owner of the hotel, that the village waives enforcement of any current defects there, that all improvements have been constructed on the hotel as contracted, and that the purchaser has no parking deck construction obligations.
Want to state your name, please?
Yes, my name is Ronald Cope. I'm an attorney. I'm representing the applicant here, the purchasers of the property. And with me is Mr. Dana Sakanikas, I hope I pronounced that correct, who is a vice president of Rockbridge. The two companies, Proconscienti and Rockbridge, have joined together to purchase the hotel from the bank which has taken it over. There's a very substantial purchase price here. They're investing a lot of money. I know one of the issues that Mr. Ferrolo had asked me about was maintaining it as a Westin. They are going to be maintaining it as a Westin. They've entered into a 20-year agreement with the management, so that's their goal, that's their intent. They're going to be investing a very substantial amount of money. It's a $60 million deal. So it's a big investment in Wheeling, and they're asking for your approval of the estoppel. It's really a formal document that the title company requires in order to close this deal. And so that's why we're asking for your approval.
Thank you. Before I open up for questions to the board, maybe Mr. Smith, you can just clarify a couple things. The perception out there that the Westin Hotel was going through bankruptcies, foreclosures and stuff, it's actually the property owners that had some financial difficulties, not the hotel itself. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Just to clarify. Open questions? Trustee Lang?
So, welcome you to our community. Thank you. What it does look like you're putting quite a bit into this building. What sort of improvements can we expect?
Predominantly a refresh of the guest rooms and some of the common areas and lobby. I don't have the details with me right now, but I'd be happy to provide it to you if you'd like me to give you some more detail.
They're actually going to be putting $5 or $6 million
right.
I read that. Of refreshment. So it's not just a small. It's a big hotel. They're going to it's going to make it a newer looking facility for anybody coming in, and so exactly how that's going to be spread, I defer to the senior vice president, but I do know that's a substantial amount that they're planning on doing.
And for clarification, this is for the hotel only, not for any of the outlot buildings, any of the...
It's for the hotel only right now. We are, as a matter of disclosure, looking at the remaining outlots also.
Yeah, but right now...
this approval, though, is just for the hotel.
Right, it's the hotel property. It's designated as such in the estoppel.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Trustee Brady?
The parking for the hotel, is that in agreement with the, that you have coming up with the new, you're the new, with the existing property owner?
The parking for the hotel is not an issue here. The only thing they were concerned about was there was some issue of joining, if there's a later development on the part of the property that they're not buying, about a parking deck, and they didn't want to be responsible for having to pay for a parking deck on property that they were not involved with. And so that's part of what you're agreeing to.
That's what I was leading up to, because initially, when it first developed, everybody knew they were going to need a parking deck someday when this entire development that came about, and someday it will, and we will need a parking deck, and I think at that time, the Westin was going to participate, not be fully responsible for it.
Well, this doesn't say that they can't or won't, and it seems to me it would be a business decision for them at the time, and that's something that could come up in the future.
So it's in the air. Everybody knows about a parking.
Well, they do, but they're not financially obligated to participate.
No.
And
that was never anything that we talked about.
Correct.
As a matter of fact, the finance of it was a whole separate issue. Thank you.
Anybody else? Entertain a motion?
So moved.
Motion by...
Second.
I'm sorry?
There were two down there.
Oh.
There were two,
Motion by
sorry.
Trustee Hines, second by Trustee Lang. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Prisoner Jurist?
Yes. Good luck, fellas.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. 13H.
Resolution authorizing the village president to execute a settlement agreement and release regarding the Philhaven litigation.
On behalf of the village board, I have a statement I'd like to make before we move forward with a motion. The Village of Wheeling has agreed to settle with the developers of the Philhaven development to allow the project to be built at Hintz Road site. The village has great respect for the disabled and welcomes residents of all backgrounds. The village board has a responsibility to uphold its zoning ordinances and has sought to do so at all times. At no time were any decisions of the village board motivated by discrimination. For Wheeling, this case has always been about making sure all local laws are followed in the development of Philhaven. In the preliminary injunction phase of this matter, the court found that the village's zoning code as applied has discriminatory effect on the disabled. Given the court's decision, which the village respects but disagrees with, the village has decided to settle this matter. The settlement will allow the developer to go forward and avoid the risk of great monetary loss to the village and its citizens if this matter were to go through an unsuccessful trial. Philhaven will be built in conformance with the village's building and life safety codes and will have all the stormwater management components required by the village engineers when reviewed in 2012. Though the village board felt the development was sited in the wrong location under the zoning code, the board has never doubted the value of such housing complex. The village looks forward to a good working relationship with Phil Haven Complex and its residents for many years to come. This is the position the village board collectively has taken, not just for the Phil Haven project, but for the entire community. With that, I entertain a motion.
So move.
Motion by trustee Hare, second by trustee Lang. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Hare?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
President Argyris?
Yes. Official communication. Trustee Brady?
None, thank you.
Trustee Krueger?
No, none, thank you.
Trustee Hare?
All talked out, nothing.
Trustee Lang?
I'm in agreement. Nothing else.
Trustee Vogel?
I think she probably could have thrown us out.
I think so. I think you met your match there. Trustee Hein?
I just have one item. We've been talking about getting some signage and stuff on Dundee and Milwaukee Avenue for pedestrian walkways and so on and so forth for a while. And over the weekend, I had an opportunity to go over that way three times. And some of these folks that are trying to cross Milwaukee Avenue, they're stuck out on an island with nothing around them. And I don't care who's got the jurisdiction on it. I know it's the state, but we have to do something about it. And what I'm asking the board to do is to have a workshop with IDOT or the powers to be that control those two streets, Dundee and Milwaukee Avenue, to discuss signage for those two locations, all the way down to Wolf Road, on Dundee Road, from Dundee Road, Milwaukee Avenue to Wolf Road, and from Milwaukee and Dundee all the way down to the first cross street. I'm having a senior moment.
Center?
I'm sorry?
Center?
No,
Further
down. By Daniello's, by Tuscany.
Manchester?
Manchester. So that we put up the proper identification signs so these people can cross without taking on another life insurance policy. So I would like to have a discussion with the board, but I think we need a workshop on this thing. That's all I have.
I'm not sure how we could accomplish that. We reached out to IDOT. We've provided their rules and regulations for what they allow. I don't know what a workshop could accomplish. Certainly we could invite them. I imagine they're going to tell you their rules are their rules, and they have reasons for them, which certainly staff could provide. I think the request could be met by a thorough report from staff that we could provide to the board that perhaps you can look over and see if that meets with your approval. Certainly the concern is valid about where people cross the street. The difficult part is, of course, enforcing them to actually use either the walkways or to cross the intersections. People, voluntarily decide to cross the street where they would like. So I would offer, I think that the quickest and best solution to aid in your request would be to have staff put together a more thorough report than we've already done that the board can consider, and then look at the next steps following that.
Mr. Fundelis, with all due respect, I've seen enough reports on Dundee and Milwaukee Avenue in my lifetime. We've got to get IDOT in here. I'm sure that they have a wonderful PR department, and if we ask them to come and to discuss the issue with them, that they will be here. And I think it's that important. Our police officers are enforcing the rules and regulations, but this goes on every day of the week. 7 days a week, there's somebody that's trying to get across, especially from the 100 building, the 200 building, and One Milwaukee Place, all that area over there. These folks, and all the way down to Wolf Road, and the reason why I included that, because we're having the same problem with people jaywalking over by McDonald's and all the other locations. And I've been in every town on Route 14, from Des Plaines all the way to Palatine, and it's a state highway. They have a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit, and they've got cross signs, and they got crosswalks, and they've got everything over there as far as you can see. And if they can have them, I want our town to have them. So please make the effort.
If I can just piggyback on that, Trustee here, maybe what we can ask staff what to do is to get an inventory of a need analysis of what we feel there would be a need for some crosswalks and make the argument, and then maybe take the next step to go to IDOT and say, we recognize we're seeing this every day, our police department, regarding people in that area at Milwaukee and Dundee, and we think this would be a good idea, and go from there. Instead of asking them, we need a crosswalk, let's come up with a need area of where crosswalks may be needed and approach it that way versus just getting a no. Because you're right, you know what, we've been up here for years, we've been talking crosswalks for years, we talk about this doesn't warrant that, signalization doesn't warrant this. It's busy. Dundee and Milwaukee is busy, even though there's a crosswalk there. To be honest with you, I don't have enough time to cross there with the light and the signalization the way it is. It needs to be addressed for a safety concern. Somebody's going to get killed, and then all of a sudden, IDOT's going to let us do whatever we want. So let's come up with a needs study in that quadrant, that area, because it's busy, and then approach it maybe in a different approach, a different way. Trustee Brady.
Just a comment, Mr. President. You know, I would suggest we wait until we get this walking bike path report, which was supposed to be due early spring. I think it's coming
incorporated with it
this month.
Sure.
Yeah, because that addresses a lot of the issues that are involved in this. Crosswalks, very important. The types of crosswalks. You know, they say that Milwaukee Avenue is too wide for a crosswalk. The state has criteria that you can put a rest area in the middle, a protected rest area, and they do it. You know, and don't tell me that the state of Illinois, if we have by the McDonald's at Center Avenue, put a state official there and let him count the kids in the morning that cross right there with no intersection, no crosswalks, no marking, no signs, no nothing. Run across Dundee Road in the morning. I'm surprised that nobody's been killed there yet. So this issue is important. We've been waiting for this report now since last fall, and once we get it, then we can sit down and really talk about where should bicycles cross? Where should people cross?
Good point.
There's some very good ideas and plans put forward in the active transportation plan that was just passed by the Village of Wheeling and done by the Planning Commission and on bicycle safety and all that kind of stuff. But they've got some stuff in there already where they're giving some recommendations where these signs should go.
That's what I'm talking about, Mr. Hine. That study went on last summer. That study started last summer with that, what was the name of that outfit that came in here and did it.
Thank you. Village Clerk Simpson.
I would like to say that Kilcoyne's Inn is going to go ahead and have a pig roast on Saturday, June 8th, 2013, from 1 to 3 p.m., and the cost is $10, and is to benefit Willow House. And Willow House, for 15 years, has served grieving children and family. This will be the 11th annual pig roast at their benefit. It's $10. And it's at Kilcoyne's at 342 North Milwaukee Avenue. If you'd like to call, it's 847-514-3650. It's from 1 to 3.
Anything else?
And kids eat free.
That's good. I just got a couple items here. Just piggyback on another event that's happening this weekend on Sunday, June 9th at Checkpoint Tire, which is the Goodyear Tire right across the street from Bill Stasek Chevrolet, from 9 to 3:30. There's going to be a classic car show with raffles and entertainment starting after about 12:30. And should be a good event, some classic cars there, a lot of raffles, a lot of things going on there, something to do on Sunday, so bring your kids out there to see some old classic cars. I'm also excited to announce, and then I'll throw this over to Mr. Svandil, a pre-4th of July party here at Village Hall with the Park District property and ours right outside the door here with some fireworks, and the theme is basically almost like a Ravinia concept, a night out in the park with your family, your friends from the Village of Wheeling. We're going to have fireworks this year. We're bringing it back on a smaller scale. There is no Freedom Fest kind of thing because we're working with the Park District on getting this project done in the next couple of years. But staff and the board felt 2 more years is a long time, and we wanted to bring something back to the community and have a night out in the stars. I'm happy to announce we got a commitment from Haley Reinhardt's mom and dad, Patty and Harry, the Midnight Band, which is a band of all ages and good entertainment that will be entertaining us. And we encourage our residents to come out and bring your neighbors and your family and a picnic basket and a carpet and enjoy the stars and get some fireworks and have some fun and rekindling some relationship with our neighbors and our friends and say that Wheeling's finally doing something again, on a smaller scale and not to interfere with anybody else's plans and our surrounding communities. But I think it'll be a good family night, and with that, I'll swing it over to you if you have any comments.
Thank you. Well, I think President Argyris said it pretty eloquently. The idea came up last week to try and bridge the gap between what we did last year, which was nothing, and waiting the 2 years until Freedom Fest can come back in all of its glory. So late last week, staff tried to put together a bit of a cost analysis of what this would cost the village, and I'm approximating $30,000 as the cost to do entertainment, which would be a stage, the band, lighting, sound, as well as a smaller yet still entertaining fireworks show that we would set off on our property. The Heritage Park property is not available for us, but we were able to create a safety zone on the Wicks parcel and be able to pull that together. This would not require a budget amendment, so I'm not asking the board to take action to change our budget. We will run this program, or at least we anticipate running this program the way we did 2 years ago, and look for corporate sponsors. We will have advertising then of those sponsors on site. We expect that this event would run from 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. There would be no vendors. As President Argyris said, this is really meant to be a family night out, a night under the stars. It would have some entertainment, as the President said, from midnight, and of course the fireworks show. So we would ask that residents bring a picnic blanket and a picnic basket and provide their own food and beverage, and the village will take care of the rest. And if the board agrees, and I would ask for consent from the board, we can move forward starting tomorrow morning in order to get a contract with Melrose Pyrotechnics and get this finalized and advertised for July 3rd.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Hare?
Yes, I think the community wants it.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Thank you, Mr. Spondelis.
Thank you.
I have nothing else. Approval of the bills from May 16, 2013 through May 29, 2013.
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Vogel.
Second.
Second by Trustee Lang. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Hare?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
President Argyris?
Yes. I entertain a motion to recess into executive session for the purpose of informant sources, the hiring or assignment of undercover personnel or equipment, and/or ongoing prior to future criminal investigations, the settling of a price for sale or lease of properties owned by the village, and pending probable and/or imminent litigation.
And personnel, I have a issue.
Okay. Is it not?
It's brief.
That's fine. And personnel. Motion by Trustee Hein. Second by Trustee Lang. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Hare?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
President Argyris?
Yes. We'll convene into executive session at 8:55. Thank you. Good night, everyone.